Okay, take it over.
All right. Thank you so much, Maureen. Thank you, everyone. Thank you all for joining today's. We are in week 4 of our Build with AI series by Tambua Women in Tech in partnership with Flata Kisumu and GDGKC. So today we'll be looking at agentic development. Looking forward to learning a lot from this session. So I hope you all have come pretty much psyched up for the same. And so for today's, we will be starting with Hidayah as our first speaker. Then we'll go to Roberta. Then we'll finish with Ian Robero. So we really hope to learn and have fun during this session. Let's be, for the ground rules, let's be kind to each other. If you have any question, you can just signal to raise your hand and your question will be attended to. So yeah, looking forward to some awesome time with you guys. So that's it from my end, unless there's anything more to add on it.
Yeah, that's right. Thank you so much. So we'd welcome our first speaker, Hidayah. Feel free to take it over. And yeah, in case you have any questions as part of the audience, just feel free to write on the chat, and then we'd let her, or she should get a notification on how to answer you best. But yeah, really excited about building your first AI agent. I've never built an AI agent, so I have a lot of questions for you, Hidayah. So take it up.
Wow, the questions are already coming. Okay. Hi again, everyone. Let me just turn on my camera for a little bit. Okay. Hi, everyone. I'm Hidayah Vanessa. I am a software developer, a community builder, and a love of chocolates. I think that is known by now. And I'm really excited to be leading this session. Looking forward to building AI agents with you and just learning. Yeah, so let's get into it. Cameras are coming back off. I'm picking up us. Okay, so we've been hearing about AI agents. People are talking about the agentic era. Now, what are AI agents really? If anyone has an idea of an AI agent and would love to share, feel free. Anyone who'd love to go. I'm even presenting it. You can even read it out there. Okay, so AI agents are software programs that can think, decide, and act on their own. Whenever the topic of AI agents comes to mind, I'd love to use the analogy of having a virtual assistant or having a PA or secretary whom you can tell your secretary to organize your calendar for you, organize and plan your meetings, and you only have to show up. So that autonomy of your secretary being able to have access to your calendar, being able to plan the meetings for you, that's basically how agents work. So agents are able to think, they're able to decide, is 9 a.m. a good time to have a meeting for Maureen, or is 10 a.m. the suitable time? And if it's a suitable time, they're able to act upon it. So what makes agents cool or unique? It's their ability to remember tasks, and apart from remembering tasks, they're able to reason on their own with very minimal human supervisions, and they're able to access tools, and with the access to tools, they perform tasks autonomously. So back to the secretary illusion. So the kind of tools the secretary would have access to are things like your calendar, things like your email, if you do permit, or your diary, work diary that is, if you do permit. And from those tools, they're able to act. So what is the big deal about agents, or what is the difference between an agent and a chatbot? So in as much as we are able to interact with chatbots have the limited capacity in that they're not able to act autonomously. So back to our secretary illusion, say I am Maureen's secretary or Alvin's secretary, and okay, assume Maureen has two secretaries, Alvin and me. So Alvin has access to a calendar and everything. Whereas me, on the other hand, I just know I am a secretary by Gina. So what happens? We can use me to be a chatbot. In the event that Maureen tells me, schedule a meeting for me on Saturday at 4 p.m., I won't be able to perform that task. I'll tell her, okay, you want to schedule a meeting, go to your calendar, look at the time, is it available? If it's available, then proceed to schedule. Now that's how most chatbots work. They give you like the steps. But now when it comes to Alvin, he'll be able to, Maureen has just said, schedule a meeting. So he has access to the calendar. He'll be able to look at the calendar, see a suitable time. If 4 p.m. is free, he'll schedule the meeting, send a notification to Maureen, or even calendar invites to the people who are gonna be meeting with Maureen. So now that's like the agent, how agents basically work. They have that autonomy to perform tasks on their own. Up to that point, is there any question? If we're together, you guys can give me a thumbs up. Awesome. So now it's time to get our hands dirty. So I'm gonna share the repo and then we are gonna build. Oh, okay. Cheryl has asked me to repeat. Okay. Oh, the difference between automations and agentic AI. Okay, I did say the key difference between chatbots and agents is that agents have the ability to act autonomously, whereas for chatbots, they have that limited capability. They can go as far as guiding you, but they don't take the actions. And then when it comes to automations, automation simply means, I want to say doing something automatically, but okay, I'll be using a word to repeat myself. So for automations, okay, yes, there's that aspect of doing something automatically, but the key thing with automations, it takes away the manual aspect of doing something. So instead of manually doing something, the cycle is repeated. And automations usually work in terms of workflows. They usually have a trigger that sets them and then an action in response to the trigger. But I'll be able to go deep into automations after the demo, if that's okay. Okay. For the agents, before the agents act, do you have to chat with them, then leave them talk autonomously afterwards? Yes, there are those that we chat with them so that you can give them the instructions. So when you're chatting with an agent, you're simply just giving it an instruction or a command, but you don't give it like when you compare chatting with an agent to a chatbot. For a chatbot, you're likely to give it more context or much context. But for an agent, it's like just they said, having a personal assistant who gets you. So they're able to just act. Thank you. Okay, so it's time to get our hands dirty and build an agent of our own. Just give me a moment. I'll be sharing the repo in the chat. You can follow along. A quick question before we start. How many are familiar with coding with Python? Can react to the thumbs up or a thumbs down? How many are familiar with coding with Python? Okay. Okay. Uh-huh. Anyone familiar? Mm-hmm. Do you have people who aren't familiar with coding? Just makes to be a hands-on session. I'd really have loved for us to just code and just get our hands dirty. Okay, we have someone intermediate. Okay. So we'll get straight. Oh, okay, Cheryl, you're familiar with JavaScript. So. Okay, you have coders in the room. That's okay. So you'll get straight into the coding aspect. And I figured that some people might not have Python installed. So to enable following through, we're going to be using Cloud Shell by Google. So Cloud Shell enables us to have an editor via the browser. So you don't have to go through the struggle of installing Python, especially for the people who use Windows. Okay, so I shared the README file, and because I'm lazy, we're just gonna be pasting commands and just getting started. So the first thing, for you to access the Cloud Shell, you just visit console.google.com, and you're gonna, okay, I'm not sure how it looks if you don't have the console set. You can just start afresh. Yeah, console.cloud.google.com. That's why you're gonna visit there, and then we'll create a new project. So for this project, we can name it something like Tambua. Then we'll create it. So that's the project we are going to be using for the Cloud Shell platform. To access the editor, okay. Afterwards, in order to access now the Cloud Shell, it's this here. Yes, that's cutting over there. So that's how we are going to be accessing it. If there's any question, just feel free to unmute because I'm not able to read the meeting side.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi, Ida. Could you kindly repeat the first step before you went to Cloud Shell?
The first step was opening the Google console. Just visit console.cloud.google.com. Let me just share it. Share it. Tuko pamoja. And I hope everyone understands Swahili. Are we together?
Not everyone understands Swahili.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Try to zoom in a little bit so that we can see your terminal. Yeah. Yes.
Okay. Okay. So we can just open the editor. So the editor will give us like an online text editor, like a VS Code on the cloud. After opening our editor, we'll go ahead and create a virtual environment. So to create a virtual environment, just like any other normal editor, you open terminal. So yeah, the steps are in the repo I've shared. So you open the cloud shell, you activate it. Afterwards, you can create another project folder, then activate your virtual environment. Camel terminal. Okay, I'll just name it an agent. Then just migrate into it or CD. Afterwards, we will create our virtual environment and activate it. Already in a paste. So if you want to know a virtual environment has been created, you are able to view this BNB, and then if you open the agent, okay, should be there. And then from there, we are supposed now to install the ADK, Google's ADK. So installing the Google's ADK is very simple. Pip install Google ADK. Are we together as it installs? Anyone left behind? The ones following? Okay. Okay, so now that's installed, we are now going to create an agent. And for that, I'm just going to do ADK create, and then we can name it something like, okay, for this session, we're going to build a conference helper. So you can just delete that. Oh, sorry. So the naming convention. And then once, let me just expand the terminal. So once you run that command, ADK creates, then whatever comes after the create is simply the name you want to give your agent. So, okay, forgive me for the spelling of conference. Sorry. But yeah, so our agent is going to be called Conference Helper. This is simply an agent to help us navigate a conference by getting access to speakers, getting access to the schedule, and yeah, that's just it in a nutshell. So we're going to be using Gemini. And then for this, when you're asked to choose a model, we're going to be using the first option, Google AI. Since we can get our Gemini API key from AI Studio, I didn't want to go the Vertex way, because it may involve activating billing. So we'll go with that. Then creating an API key. We'll come to AI Studio. And then the API key should be such a place. Actually, let me do that. So I had created an API key, so that's the one I'll use. Again, if I'm going fast, feel free to just say that you're going fast, and you can always go through the steps again. Okay. So our API key has been created, and the next thing, okay, our agent has been created. So here it is, our starter file. So if we open this file, you get to realize just a small description for the agent. You're a helpful assistant for users, and you can answer user questions to the best of your knowledge. So we are going to test it out. Before now, we can customize it with tools and make it powerful. So in order to run it, we're going to use this command. ADKWeb is the command, but you'll get to realize if you're running from the Cloud Shell, if you just use ADKWeb, it doesn't accept origins from other places.
Yes.
Oh.
Sorry, I just wanted to highlight that you have two questions. Cheryl wants to know the essence of those files and folders that you've shown before. And Pauline says you are a bit too fast, so maybe you can find a balance between the demo and the explanation.
I am so sorry. I'm moving too fast. So this is where we are at. We've been able, as of now, we've been able to get a project on the Cloud Shell, and this is where we are going to be building our agent. So this is our project for our agents. After creating the project, what we did is we installed Google's ADK. So ADK is simply Agent Development Kit. It allows you to have access to various models that Google has and to be able to just build with them. So that's Google ADK. So after installing the Google ADK, I'm going to just reference the repo since the instructions are there. So after installing the Google ADK, we created now a starter agent. That's why we ran ADK create. Then for my case, I named it conference helper. So running this command, what it did, it's created now the conference helper. So this is where our agent is going to live. For the VNV, I made a okay, for the VNV, simply stores environment variables. Yes. So we are going to be focusing on this folder, the conference helper, because this is where our agent is going to be living. So when we ran ADK create conference helper, we were able to get these two files generated. So the first one is the initialization file. I want you how to explain the initialization file. And then we have the agents.py. So in something like a JavaScript project, this is what will be main.js. So every other folder and file that we'll create, we'll use this to reference it and then be able now, it's the main file, actually, that's what I mean. So the agent.py is the main file for our project. Then I'll have the initialization. So here in the agent.py, we've been able to define our agents. So the model we are using for this particular agent is Gemini 3.5 Flash. And then this is the description we've given it, or this is the description that came by it. It's just a helpful assistant that answers our questions based to the knowledge it has. But as we progress, we're going to customize it and make it more efficient by giving it access to various tools. Are we together so people don't understand Swahili? Yes, the files, after you just run ADK install, the files come with the codes. It will come with the starter code. It will come with this starter code. I haven't written any code yet. So now the next thing we're going to do is we are gonna run the agent that we now have. So the command is ADK web. Okay, basically, if you're in a normal editor, if you just run ADK web, it will run. But because this is Cloud Shell, running it that way won't give access. Okay, you're going to run into pause error. So what I mean by that is not every IP is able to make access to it. So the reason as why I've added the allow origins to all is to enable my IP or anyone to be able to have access to the agent right now. Not anyone like you guys. Basically my IP and be able to reference it. Yeah. And then from there we'll visit it. Okay, so this is the agent UI that we're going to get. And we can interact with it. I'm just trying to check if it really connected. It's taking longer than expected. Okay, so remember the instructions we gave it, you're an assistant, you should be able to answer questions to the best of your knowledge. So you can just ask it, what is the capital of Kenya? Maybe it's not right. I don't know. Yeah. Okay, so as of now, it's able to answer it just as we had instructed it, to the best of its knowledge. But now we want to create a conference helper, like I said. We want it to have access to information about, let's say, these sessions that we're having right now, for it to be able to tell us what speakers we have, for it to be able to tell us the sessions that are there without us necessarily having to open the program PDF. So now that's what you're going to do. We're going to empower our agents with tools. So remember at the start, I did mention that something that makes agents better or powerful is that agents are able to utilize tools in order to act autonomously. So yeah, we are going to do that. So for the tools, we're going to create a file and we're going to call it tools. And because one tool that you're going to use is, we'll start with one tool. When you attend a physical conference, something that people usually ask is, what is the Wi-Fi password? Yeah. What is the Wi-Fi password? So instead of walking up to an organizer, because most of us are scared, by most of us, I mean me, you can simply reference, or if the organizers do have an agent, they can simply attach the details there. Then the agent can be able to reference and you'll be able to get access to the Wi-Fi password. The codes are in the repo I've shared, so I'm just copy pasting to avoid writing the codes manually and save time. It's only 15 minutes. So here we are defining a tool called get Wi-Fi info. So what this tool does is it returns the Wi-Fi details, basically the name and the password. So in order for us to register our tool, we are going to come back to our agents.py. And then we're going to import it. Okay, after we've imported our tool, we are going to register the tool here. Just turn back. The tool is get yeah. So with that, we've registered our tool, and then we are going to change here the instruction that I have assistance to help different attendees. So conference attendees. Answer the instruction. Also user questions. So because we wanted to use the tools, can be answer user questions. Let's see. Then it can be if you don't have an answer or if you don't know. You don't know. Say so. And then we'll just restart the server again so that the changes can apply. Then we'll ask our agent over here, what is the Wi-Fi password? Just a bit too. It's supposed to cut us that. So you see, it was able to reference the tool we gave it. And then it told us the Wi-Fi network, there it is. And then we have our password over there. So are we together up until that point? So what we've done, we've been able to give an agent, our agent tool. Okay. And then it's able to reference that tool when making the decision or acting. So for this agent, it's just a help. So I'm seeing we have a question. How do you advise to update the models in case they change or have any type of issue? So for this kind of case, I usually just change it from these points. And I put the model I prefer to use. But during installation, you are asked which model you'd want to use. So if you don't want to use the Gemini 3.1 Flash, there's usually an option. To choose other models, then you'll be able to fill it in. Okay, so guys, if you're following through, you have built a simple agent and you've been able to empower it by giving it access to a tool. And in real world scenario that is not like a demo, you can be able to give it access to more tools like APIs and databases so that your agent is more efficient. So for our case, if you want to, let's say, okay, for now, if I ask it, you know the program of Women in Tech, of Tambua Women in Tech session. Today. My bet is it doesn't have the program, but let's see. Maybe it will reference LinkedIn. And my turn is almost up. So you see right now it's telling us, I'm sorry, I don't have access to the conference schedule or details about today. It can only provide Wi-Fi information because that's what we've given it access to. So if, say, I want to give it access to the schedule, I can simply create, okay, in the real world, a database, but because we don't have a database, we can, what can I do? You can use JSON. So you can have something run as schedule.json. Schedule.json. And then from there, again, because I don't want to copy and paste it, here's a sample data of today's schedule. Yeah. Just with that. JSON. And if we want to now create a tool, say get schedule, we just again come here. We'll define our function. Get tool. No, get schedule, and then we'll go again through the process of registering that function with our agents. That tool, sorry, with our agents. So here it is. Get schedule. I'm explaining what it does. So what this function does, the way the comment says, it opens the JSON file. After opening the schedule.json file, it gets the content of it, and now that becomes our schedule. But if I was using like a database, instead of referencing or opening the JSON file, I'd simply reference our database that has access to the schedule and everything. So now that the tool is registered, we'll come back here. We'll have the get schedule. Get schedule. So before it told us it didn't have access to it, just like Hidayah being a bad secretary, not having access to Maureen's data. So now let's see if it's able to. I'll just ask it the same question. So as it loads, basically when you're building agents, you simply just giving it powers, I love to say powers, by giving it access to tools. So yeah, you see, it's been able to now get our schedule. Okay. So instead of Maureen going ahead and telling everybody the schedule again, or instead of me having to look for a PDF with the schedule, I'm able to talk to the conference helper, and it's able to just put the schedule of today. Yeah. So if you want to go further and say want to give it access to more tools, you can give it access to, let's say, Google APIs. And if this was a physical session, you could ask it, where can I grab lunch after the event? Your agent should be able to reference nearby locations. Where can I hang out with friends or a small networking at this event. So those are some of the ways we can be able to connect our APIs to real world tools, not our APIs, our agents to real world tools. Yeah, so that's it for the demo part. The repo I've shared has better instructions, not better instructions, but more comprehensive instructions. And right now I welcome questions. If you have any question, that is.
Thank you so much for presenting. It's actually interesting to see you do this live, and I'm inspired to create my next agent already. I have one question. You have one question though, but I have one question. Do you really need a little bit of Python knowledge to be able to create your first agent? And my next question would be like, what's the key difference between a chatbot and an agent in this case? Then once you answer that, then you have two other questions on the chat.
Do I really need Python knowledge to be able to build an agent? Not really. You can be able to use JavaScript or Java to build. Apart from that, if you're not into the coding aspect of things, there are platforms like initn that enable you to build agents without writing it. Okay, when they market initn, they say without writing any code, but I prefer saying with writing minimal code, because there are sometimes you'd be able to write code. So it's not a must to use Python alone when creating the agents. And then in this case, the key difference between our agent and a chatbot, if you go and ask ChatGPT right now for the schedule of the meeting we're having right now, it won't be able to give you the exact details of what's happening right now. But because our agent has been able to have access to the schedule tool, it's able to reference that, and it's able now to give you access to it. For this, it hasn't been able to go deep into acting on your behalf. It's been more of referencing just to show how the tool works. But if it were to go deep into acting for your behalf, we'd have to give it access to more tools, like the examples I gave at the start, access to maps, calendars, etc. And then the next question. In my experience, how do you make the agent infrastructure more secure, and also how to reduce hallucinations, if any? The question, okay, it says in my experience. I am a beginner, but okay. When it comes to reducing hallucinations, I'd point it into fine-tuning. And apart from that, again, I'd reference the right tools, because I really think it also helps in reducing the hallucination aspect of it. That and just fine-tuning those two. And then how to make the agent infrastructure more secure. I don't have a definite answer for this one, because I'm still learning. I'm building and learning as of now. But I know there are other experienced developers here. If you're able to take up that question, feel free. You're welcome. Okay, back to you, Maureen.
Okay, yeah, thank you so much for your awesome presentation. I would really be keen to check your GitHub repo and also rewatch the session to see exactly what you did. But thank you so much. So one update from us, our final speaker, Ian, just said that he has an emergency, so he won't be able to join us today, unfortunately. He was going to cover the return of investments of autonomy, so like after building an agent, or what kind of investment do you get out of that? Like, is it good for business growth and all that? Unfortunately, he won't be able to join us today, but he would share his slides. So that gives us more free time anyways. And I would welcome our second speaker, Roberta. She says her name is Roberta. Yeah, but she would reintroduce herself again, and she's gonna take us through building and deploying an AI code reviewer. So let me just share it in a bit. Yes. Yes, so she's going to share building and deploying our AI code reviewer. And I really like the intro to this session because Hidayah has taken us through like the first steps into the building your AI, your first AI agent. And Roberta will take us through how to build and deploy an AI code reviewer. So take it up.
Thank you, Maureen. Sorry. Hi, everyone. Good afternoon. I hope you can hear me. Yeah.
Yes, we can hear you.
Great. So, yes, my name is Roberta. Maureen, I think I mentioned it just that you're finding it a bit difficult, but it's Roberta. I'll respond once I hear the RO and then the TA, don't worry. Anyways, sorry I'm looking here because the screen is here. All right, so my name is Roberta Akutu, and I'm a software engineer. I also do product management, and I'm an instructor. So for my session this afternoon, let me share my screen. Choose a screen. And yes. Please confirm you can see my screen. Yep. All right, great. Thank you very much. All right, so this afternoon, we are going to build and deploy an AI code reviewer. As Maureen said, we've done a lot with Hidayah already, so we'll just build on that. Before we start, I would want to know, does anyone here build locally? Does anyone have Node.js, Google SDK, GCP SDK on their laptops already? Do you already do that? Okay, 2 people, 3, 4, okay. It is not more than half. So you are going to go the route of just continuing from where Hidayah stopped. All right. So let's look at what we are building. What we are building is basically an AI code reviewer, right? Most of the times we write code and we are wondering if it's perfect before we go and give it to our senior engineers to criticize us and all that. So it's just a fun project for us to sort of build that, try and test our code, see if it matches what we are looking for. Before we go and we submit it, maybe it will work out for you, maybe it will not, but at least you know that you've done 50% of the job and then your supervisor can do the rest for you. So that's the fun project you're going to build. What we are going to be using is Gemini API, Node.js and Express for the backend, and then Google Cloud Run. Very simple, straightforward. So we'll use Gemini's brain to do all the review, bugs, security issues, detect all that, and we'll be able to also select any language and also deploy to cloud. Yeah, I've mentioned this. So again, the reason we are doing this is because we are talking about agentic approach. Please confirm you can still see my screen.
Yes, we can see it.
So the normal approach or the old approach would have been that you go and start writing everything from scratch. You type each file, each line, everything from scratch. You have to think of how to write your server.js manually, line by line. Everything will be from scratch. But we are using agents and agents right now, which is AI agent simply and Gemini for that matter. And all we are going to do is just sit back, watch AI build for us, and then we'll do a few tweaks to it. I hope that's exciting for us. Yeah, good. So moving on to set up, we are going to first create a Gemini API key and then do Node.js in our Cloud Shell. So let me just quickly move to the screen. Most of the time, before I create, there are two ways to do it. You can create your project here and then go to Google API Studio, Google AI Studio, sorry, create a Gemini key and all that. But what I like to do is create my project here so that it's easier for me to just import it from Google AI Studio. So again, with our Google Cloud console, we are just going to create a project here. Yes, okay. And AI code reviewer. Code, yeah, code reviewer. Please let me know if you get stuck somewhere and I can just go back quickly, then we move on from there. So we've created our project, waiting for it to finish. Okay, then we can select our project now. Okay, so that's activated for us. Now we'll go to Google AI Studio and then go down here, get an API key. I could use any of the API keys, but just so maybe we don't know how to create one, we can just create a new one over here and leave it as API key or rename it. For the fun of it, let's rename it to AI reviewer key. Okay. All right, and we can import our project. Okay, it hasn't yet. Let me just refresh this. Okay, so I'm going to import. Okay, good. So this is it. And just import it. Then create your key. Yes, we have our key here now. So we can just copy it or yeah, we can copy it and it's still here. Anytime you want, you can come back to it. All right, so going back to AI code, our Google Cloud. What we are basically going to do now is to build the back end and we also build the front end. Now for the back end, I mentioned that we are using Node.js and then Express. So I'll paste the commands in the chat as well for you so you can follow along. Yeah. Okay. So the first thing we are going to do is open our Cloud Shell here into the project. It takes a few seconds or minutes. Okay, great. Why does he already have a script.js and all that? Anyways, this is not what we want. So we are going to go back. A minute. But from your end, if you open your code reviewer, editor in the code reviewer, it should give you yeah, as already selected. Okay. Okay, this is changed, so I'm just going to delete all these. I don't know where they came from because we've not started doing anything inside. So I can just delete permanently and redo it. So now I have a fresh start over here. Can you let me know if you're on the same page so we can move on? Yes, we are. Okay. So you're going to open a terminal just like we do in VS Code. I mean, Google Cloud has given us the opportunity to just do everything here, so deploying will be a bit easier as well. So the command is in the chat. We'll just do npm init initializing npm inside. So once we do that, it creates our package.json for our scope. And the next thing we are going to install is our node. Yeah, I can hide this. Let me increase this so we can all see. Yeah. Sorry. So this is also going to install Express, also employ the generative AI that the Google AI are going to use. And we should be good. So right now, if you refresh this, you have your node models, everything working fine, which is perfect. Now we mentioned that we're going to use Gemini API key, and to use that, we all know that we have to put an API key in a file called .env. So let's create that over here, just a .env file, and we'll go back to Google AI Studio and just copy our file, our API key from here, simple. And we can do Gemini API. API key.
Sorry, excuse me, Roberta. Could you just go back to your previous step? Could you just repeat your previous step? The previous step or this one, where I don't know whether you created a file under node modules or something.
Yes, I created it. Yeah. So this is the icons used to create a file. So I just created a file and named it .env, and I've put the Gemini key, the API key I got from Gemini API Studio, the Google API Studio.
Google AI Studio.
Pardon?
Is it the API key you got from Google API Studio?
Yes, AI Studio, yeah. Just here.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Please, is everyone on the same page? Are we good to go? Yeah, one person says 2, 3. Okay, I guess we can move on then. So now we have our API key over here, which means that basic functionality works there, can work. However, we need our UI, which is what we are going to do with AI. So what I want to do is use a prompt over here. So we are going to use a prompt. Oh, Maureen, since you said we have time, will it be nice if we all build the prompt together, or you think I should still just give us the prompt?
Yeah, good question. Yeah, depends with what you want, because the final speaker is having an emergency. But also, we would like to give room for the audience to let us know if they really want to do the hands-on participation. But you take the lead, show us as much as you can, because we're much more free time now.
Okay, sure. So then I'll just take my time so that we can move on through. All right, so I'm going to open, sorry, no, that's not what I want. Let me reduce the terminal now. And yeah, so now we have our Gemini API key. As I've said, we have all this. Now we want to build the UI. And I want to use Gemini, which is already here. Yes, open Gemini Code Access. So when you go to this tab, you see the tab over here to open Gemini Code Access Chat. So you are going to use that since it's already in for us. Very simple. And you use the agent mode. I like to use the agent mode so that once we are done, it will just add the files here for me. Okay, so again, the goal was for us to build an AI viewer, just to refresh our mind. And what it's going to do is to list bugs that can be found in a code we paste or use, security vulnerabilities, improve suggestions, rewrite the code as well for us so that we can know the best one to use. And possibly just add a fun feature, which is congratulatory screen once the code is good to go. So I have a prompt over here, just going to paste it in this chat and also paste it here for us to run on our end so we can follow along. So simply what it's doing is going to build this and using Node.js, Express for backend, and Tailwind CSS, for design. And then we have the list of things we want it to do and some restrictions as well and what it should do exactly. Okay, so now wait, let's just run this and see if it does the work for us. And we should be good. Please, at this point, do we have any questions before it finishes building? Are there any questions? Anyone confused or anything? Okay, I guess we are good. Okay, Alex is good. I don't think I've heard from Kimuma. I'll butcher people's name, sorry. But well, once you have got, let's run it and let's see what it does for us. Mind you, you can do this in Google AI Studio so straight away as well. You just go to the agent, you put this prompt, it will also build the same thing for you. And you can also use, what's the name? This tool we have, yes, anti-gravity as well to do that for you. So yeah, this is taking a bit longer. But going back to our slides means we've done the setup, we've done the back end basically because we did that npm install express and all that. Now we are building the front end, and then we'll have to test locally and see if it works for us, then we deploy. That's basically what we are doing. Okay. Has anybody's phone finished? Mine is still taking a minute. So if yours is finished, let me know. Okay. While we wait, does anyone here normally or usually write code using AI? I saw somebody put in a chat that they do, what's the name, vibe coding only. I would like to know more. What is laughing? Who was that? Alex. Alex, you said you vibe code a lot. What do you do usually? While we wait for Gemini to finish building our app for us. Because again, we are building with AI. Alex, what do you want to share with us? This is taking long.
He's still vibe coding, I guess.
That's the best response. He's still vibe coding, so he's concentrating, huh? Okay. I don't know if it's my internet or Gemini is decided to be just too slow, but yeah. Has anyone's own finished? Unless you're not here with us. Okay. And then let me check my internet and see. Okay, it's building. Really? Well, I always use this. A minute. Okay. So I don't know if you've gotten the same error, but I have an error which is weird because I don't usually use this one. But anyways, we can do another thing right now. I'm going to paste our server.js file for us, the content I want and how I want it to work, right? If it was VS Code, we would have just used another AI tool, but we are in Google Cloud, so and people don't have npm and all that's already installed. So we need to improvise immediately. So you can create a server.js file. Let's create a server.js file. Yeah, server.js. And we'll paste this over here. Okay. So what we are doing over here is, let me show the spaces. Okay. So there are some comments in there. This is going to load our Gemini API key from the server .env file we created. This is supposed to be in here. Okay. So, okay. Yeah. And also loads it from here. Then we are going to use model 2.5 Flash. We are still using Gemini, please remember that. And this is the brain behind whatever we are doing, right? It's going to run this prompt once you run your project locally and going to make sure that these conditions are met. Like this is what it wants. It's going to check for bugs, security, add improvements, verdicts, fix code, all that. And some important rules over here. So sometimes, or in fact, most of the time, you know that when we give AI, it can do whatever it wants and keep doing it until it is satisfied. So this is just trying to manipulate or limit what it does and then how we want it to look like. So yes, this is it. Let me see if I can retry this. Okay. Let's not use an agent then. If persuasion fails, false is applied. Let's go back and copy our prompts. And then it will just build a code, we'll copy and paste. Okay, so let's see if this would work. I mean, Gemini is always, yeah. So it's going to build it here instead for us, and then we'll just copy and create the files and put it in our project. That works also. Okay. Please, if yours did not work just like mine, you can just create a new chat without the agents, and then when you create the file, would copy the code blocks and put it here. Oh, it's even doing the job for me. Great. So no, I'm going to reject the server.js one, and then rejected everything. Anyways, let's just build the structure then. So it's giving us our HTML. Because we already pasted the server.js, I don't want it to create another one which would add more things that we might not be looking for. So the folder structure is basically going to be, we'll create a public folder. Public, yeah. And inside that public folder, we'll create index.html and should I use index.css? Let me see what it's did. Index.html and oh, it actually added it. Saves us a lot of this one. So it just did index.html and a JavaScript file. It didn't name script.js. Okay, great. So script.js. Please, have we been able to create our files? So we've just copied and pasted that, and we are copying and pasting this, and we are good to go. So yes, AI has still created a project for us. Please, everyone here, are we good? Can we move on? I think I want to hear voices. I don't like it when everywhere is quiet like that. Okay, cool. Maureen says she's here, but Pauline, Tracy, are we all okay? Are we here? Rose, Stephanie. Okay, cool. All right, so let's move on. So it means that now we've created our project basically. We have our script.js file, which is doing all this. It's automatically going to read the first image and text area, all that. And we'll test it. Now let's test it and see what it's going to give us. I hope it's giving us a very nice UI. To run this, we can simply do npm run dev over here, if it's going to use that. Okay, so there's the npm stats. Okay, we have an error in our node models code. Type model engineer. You see, again, we are building with AI, so since we don't want to go through the stress, and me too, I am lazy, we are just going to screenshot it and then tell it, oh, sorry. No, we are going to screenshot it and then ask AI to help us fix it. I hope I can upload over here. Or we can go to Gemini and then tell it to do that for us. Context files. No. The current file is okay. This is the error, so let's see if you can just find it and then wait, they still used. Oh, okay. Okay, so it wants us to use its server.js. Let's just copy that and then save ourselves time. Okay, so let's run this again and see if it works now. Still giving us the same error. A minute, let me delete this terminal and then do it again. Is anyone getting the same error? And I hope you're not panicking because errors is part of you as a developer, so it's not anything new. Anyone getting the same error? Okay. So I think it's because I'm running this over here. Still won't work, so it's supposed to be everything. Hold on, yeah. This is what I always use, and I still using this, but you don't have this. So even if we okay, quick fix. I mean, that's the power of AI once again. If it's in your code editor, you can just see where the error is coming from and then ask it to fix it for you. So this is what it wants to do. Okay. That's nice. So we can just accept that and try again and let's see if it works now. Okay. I don't know what to try with it, but a minute. There's a hand. Yeah, there is. And because, please go on.
Yes, I was suggesting if we could probably install the modules first with npm install.
Yeah, we did that at the beginning, actually. That's the first thing we did.
Yeah, but okay.
Yes, that's the first thing we did. So probably we just have to do it again, or because we are building with AI, we can just tell AI ask AI how it's already up to date. So let me ask AI. And let's see how best Gemini can help us. Because we've used the right. I just realized I spelled AI code viewer wrong. Nobody got that. Wow. The Davis is laughing at me. Yes. Nobody got that. Everyone, I've just run, let's run npm install again. Okay, npm install again. Since it wants me to be running it, still the same thing. Okay. It wants us to use the node server.js instead. Maybe because I wasn't doing that, that's why. Okay, it's running in port 3000, so means that it's working. A minute. I would have loved it to give us the URL instead. Let me see if out of curiosity, npm and everyone. npm starts. So just this. Okay. So let me open it here for us to see. I think we should be able to view it here, if I'm not mistaken. No, that's a new window. Yeah, sorry. Gemini has confused my head. So I'm trying to see how best we can view it here and then test it before we deploy to run. Use the cloud run. Okay. But please, have we all been able to do it? Are we okay here? Please, Maureen, go ahead.
Yeah, thank you. So I'm curious. So when running this via the Cloud Shell, how do you navigate like the changes? For example, now when you want to actually view it, because we're still waiting for the port to start, is there a way that you can actually preview it already? Do you have to like preview it within the Google Cloud Shell, or how does it actually work? Because I've never used the Google Cloud Shell before.
Yeah, myself, I use the one. So I think I just remember we can use curl, then we put the port. Hopefully that works. No, you just I just want us to review it. There's a way to do it on this, but it just skipped my brain just because we are trying to do everything at the same time, and Gemini has messed with me a bit. So
Okay.
yeah, but it's supposed you should be able to run it here. I don't think it's a command. I think it's a view where we can actually. It's not supposed to start the bar again.
Just to chip in right now, I see when you run the curl command, it's actually loaded your front end, which is the bug list. So maybe you can open a new window and open localhost 3000.
Open a new window.
As in a new tab and just open, because you wrote the you wrote the
That is what it is. It didn't. It's not loading, which is weird because it's supposed to load regardless in this. And I know that node server.js, it just gives you the port instead of running it and giving you like the URL that you need. But anyways, I guess we still get a point of what's supposed to do. It would have been nice if you can test it before we deploy. But since it's working, no errors, we can just deploy to Google Cloud Run and then we'll view it from there, right? So typically, if you are going to use the Google Cloud Run in the terminal, you have to do like 3 steps, right? That's you setting the project and all that. But fortunately, we did this in Google Cloud. So we are going to skip the step of setting the project because it can automatically detect it from here. And also Cloud Run API, which is supposed to activate the APIs that will run it and build. You are going to skip that as well. So what we'll do instead is to do Cloud Run deploy source and we'll follow the instructions to fix it, to make it run. Hi, Alex, please, your question or contribution?
Oh, hi there. So when it comes to previewing on Cloud Shell, there's that part on the top right where we have the open terminal. That's immediately on the right side.
Okay.
Okay, it's there already. The one that looks like an eye. I think you've closed it.
All right. Sorry.
It looks like some sort of an eye. It will create some sort of a tunnel that will allow you to view. Where we have the settings icon is that preview button there. Yeah, that one.
That is what I was looking for. Thank you very much.
Okay.
Thank you, Sylvia. So it's running on port 1880 and it was telling us 3000. Reason it wasn't working for us. Anyways, thank you. Thank you, Alex. I'm sure you have selected the right port. Okay, yes. Yeah, so since oh yeah. I just do what I did. Node server. Node.js. Why is he always having this issue? Anyways, you know what? Let's just deploy to cloud and we should be okay. I don't know why it's now telling us we have backend error and all of that. Yeah, so to deploy to cloud, service name, let's say AI code reviewer. Yeah. Invalid source. Sorry. Made a mistake. Let's do AI code. It has naming conventions, so you have to be particular with what you use. What is happening again? Yeah. Just follow the prompts with, do you want to enable the APIs? Yes. So I mentioned that we're supposed to run some APIs. That is the build API and the run API. Because we are doing it here, it has just asked us to do it by itself. Sorry, I can't, let me just close this. I can't read what's going on there. Access. My email is not found. Oh, I would have asked if somebody can see what's going on, but I forgot. I missed the step. We are supposed to set up payment once you create a project, an API key. You are supposed to set up billing. My network is slow, so if you have credits, you can just set up the billing and it should be good. Apart from that, your project should work properly. Yeah, sorry about that. Keep me. Just submit it. It might not work, but there's some credit that I should make it work. Please, are we good? Are we on the same page? Are we able to run deploy source? Okay, so I have billing over here. Let me just copy this API key and let's test it for it to work. So ENV, where's our ENV file? Wait, what? Whose ENV file disappeared? Because mine has disappeared.
It's up above your server. Yeah.
But why is it hidden? Because I was about to panic that why has it disappeared from where it was supposed to be? Anyways.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but that should be it. Maureen, I know my time is up. That should be it, but I'm good. Yeah, good. Okay, it's not found, not found. What do you mean my email is not found? I'm usually running in this, but my email is not found. See, that is why I'm going to go to Gemini again. Let's copy it down. If it gives us the error at the end of the day, we just do that. Yeah, really not found. But that should be it. It's supposed to run locally as well. I don't know why the local just keeps going back to npm install. I think mine is because it had a source code already there. I deleted and restarted, which shouldn't be so, but I hope we got to the steps and we can apply later on. Please, are there any questions? So we don't take a lot of time and then rather constitute. Are there any lessons? Questions, please? We good? Yes, Maureen, please go ahead.
Yeah, thank you so much. So I'm a little bit curious on the end goal of the AI code reviewer. So especially on what it should actually do.
Yeah.
So as an AI code reviewer, what would it typically do normally? So in this case, like a normal workflow, a developer creates a PR, alerts the team members, they can review on GitHub or wherever platform they're using. So this AI code reviewer, what where in the pipeline does it come in? Especially it's like a standalone agent, I believe so. So how do you add it to your GitHub workflow?
Yes, so a minute I'm coming to I have example of that over here. We'll run it locally on my machine and then we can just see how it works. So basically what you're supposed to do is that it's just basically a web app, right? You can paste your code in there, then you click some review, then it reviews it based on the criteria I give it. Then you can also upload a zip file. That's the improvement you can make to it actually. You can upload a zip file to it and to review all the code and give you suggestions on what to improve and all that as well. It's not something that it's not an agent integrated into your GitHub workflow. However, it's something that you can actually plug into your building process. So for instance, when you have built something and you just need a second thought without going to somebody else to do that, you can just paste your code there, check for review, it gives you suggestions on what you could improve, and it actually rewrites the code for you. You copy and paste and you should be good. And it gives you like the improvements and all that. I don't know if that answers your question.
Yes.
Maria, that was a question. Okay.
Yeah.
Let me see if I can.
Yeah, cool.
Okay. Please, are there any other questions while I try to get this up for us to test? Okay, so please feel free to add your questions to the chat here. In the meantime, check small activity. Okay, well. Okay. Okay, so social media post 3,000 now. Loading on my end. I think something is slow. It's still loading. So once it's closed, I'll share my screen and then we can test out what it was supposed to do. But if there are any other questions, please you can ask before we wrap it up, because we're basically done just to see the outcome. And Maureen has an activity in the chat for us, so please. Okay.
Okay, so as we're waiting for her project to load, I would like us to do a small check-in like last time. on the menti.com. So just feel free to scan this from your phone. You don't need to log in, just scan the QR code and enter the code 19040224. In the meantime, as we wait for her to be ready. So just give us a heads up if you are ready. Is it okay on your end, or can we just proceed?
Yeah, you can. It's, I mean, it's still loading. I don't know. It looks like today my machine has decided to.
Ah,
I don't know why, because it's open, but it's still loading. Not open yet. I don't know why.
Okay.
But this
Yeah.
is like a tested projects already. The same thing. So.
Okay, no worries. Yeah, so Pauline, what's Mentimeter about? Yeah, so it's all about feedback about today's session. So we just want to have a collective session to see how are we checking out, especially after the 2 sessions that we've had today. So just feel free to go to the Mentimeter. Mentimeter. I don't know if it's Meta or Meta. Yeah, but go there and then scan, add this code, or pretty much just scan the QR code that you can see, and feel free to write what agent you are excited to build after today's workshop. Because the first speaker did an agent about a conference helper where you can check conference details, add conference speakers, or for example, the schedules and all. And the second speaker was all about AI code reviewer, building and deploying an AI code reviewer. So you as a person, as an individual, what kind of agent would you like to build? So that's what we are looking for to see. And you can write as much responses as you can. So yeah, you can do that in the meantime as we are waiting.
Okay. Okay, I'm sharing my screen. Choose your screen. Okay. Sorry. This. So yeah, this is what we basically built earlier. Same thing in cloud. So what I did is, this is how it's supposed to work. You can choose any language you want, paste any code over here. When you review with Gemini, it's supposed to give you the correct code, the first code. You just paste it, you can paste and then review, and that's all. That's basically what you built. Yeah, reviewing takes time, so yeah. Okay, great. So this is it. It gives you the back security, non-found improvements that can be done. So you have to use letter lab. You can actually copy and then paste. Yeah. So that's how it was supposed to work. I'm sure locally it would have worked fine, but because I don't know what's happening with the Google Cloud Editor at that moment. But yeah.
Don't worry about that. It happens when we test live.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's excellent code.
Okay. Nice.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah. So feel free to share all these resources with us so that we can check it out at our own time.
Yes, I have a Medium write-up on that, so I'll just share right now. Then people can just read through and then follow with it. And also, I'll upload this on GitHub, so I'll share with you, then you can share with them. Then that's it.
Okay.
Yeah. So this is a write-up on Medium. Yeah. So the steps are all there for you to go through and all that. So yeah.
Nice.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. So for our audience, feel free to check it out. And like I said, I will share the screen once again. So I see we already have like a good number of responses. So just feel free to scan the QR code, write the code, and tell us what you're excited about today's agentic development sessions. Because myself, I'm more of a front-end developer, focusing mostly on the Flutter world and Android. And it's interesting to see like other people take up other different parts and take us through that, which I'm curious about. I have very minimal Python knowledge. I only have enough to keep me going with the basic Python script. And also for the Node.js, I'm also curious to learn more. So it's good that you guys gave us a preview of that. But yeah, feel free to write to us. What are you excited about today's sessions? Yeah, it's nice that you guys are adding your responses. And Lina, Hi, Lina just joined us. She's supposed to take us through this last session of checking out. Lina, would you like to take it over? We already started with our checkout, and people are already writing what they are excited about today's session.
Okay, thank you. Hi, everyone. Good evening. Hope you're all doing well. Okay. Okay, so you're on the next question, or you're yet to complete this one?
We just started. This is the first question.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
So I'm seeing 5 out of 7 responded.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that is like everyone responded. So what are you excited about today's Agentic development sessions? And people are saying the open terminals, movie review agent, how agents work. Agents, it was hands-on. Amazing, amazing. Good job to our amazing facilitators. On to the next questions, Maureen.
Okay. The next question.
What agent are you excited to build after today's Agentic development workshop? So which agent are you excited to build? You can tell us. Okay, someone is saying the code reviewer. Okay, awesome, amazing. Okay. So what else? What else are you excited to build after today's session? Okay, 5 more to go. Okay. Someone is saying food waiter. Perhaps in the next session, they can also, our attendees can tell us, can give us a demo of what they have done. Yes, Maureen? Or what do you think? Gym assistant?
Yeah.
Yes. So what you're saying you're going to build, you can tell us in the next session as well. And then we have gym assistant, food waiter, the code reviewer. Conference helper. Okay, we want to make our work very easier. So we'll get this conference helper, code reviewers, food waiters, tutor, awesome. Gym assistant. Perhaps I'll also get the gym assistant. Therapist. Aha. Amazing, amazing responses. Okay, chatbot. Okay. Okay. On to the next question, Maureen.
Okay. Yeah. So this is the final question.
How confident do you feel applying what you've learned today? How confident do you feel applying what you've learned today? So how confident are you? Okay. Do you understand the key ideas of agentic development? You can explain the main concepts to someone else. I feel ready to apply these ideas in practice. Okay. So we have people saying they understand the key ideas. They can explain it to people as well. Okay. Great responses. People are ready to even apply these ideas in practice, meaning that we've understood what our amazing trainers have done today. Yeah, I think that's it from my end, Maureen. Thank you, everyone.
Yeah, thank you. So I'll just share the final, I think this one, present. Yeah, so like I said before, our final speaker has an emergency and unfortunately he can't join us today. So we are going to forgo the return of investment of autonomy. And that gives us time to go. And next week, it's all about AI tools engineers actually use. It's pretty much interesting because since we started these sessions, we've started from the very beginner, from what is AI, what is artificial intelligence, what is ML, how does AI actually work, to prompt engineering, and to last week how to connect AI APIs to our project, and today more about agentic development, creating your assistants to help you coordinate your work. I'm really excited about next week because it's all about AI tools that engineers actually use. So this would keep us more into almost ready because this is a 6-week series. So congrats to you all for making it towards the end, because it's been a tough journey. I mean, learning every week, sparing your time to learn every week, it's not for the faint-hearted. So thank you so much for sparing your time to learn with us. And we're almost finishing. So one last thing from us is we would have, like, after the last week 6, which is more on the real world projects, after the last week, we would have a final showcase. So this is open to everyone who has attended these sessions. So the showcase would all be about you showing us a cool project that you've built so far. And it would be like a 5-minute pitch just to talk about your project, what it does, the advantages, what you're looking up to, forward to without project, and everything about the project. So for this showcase, it's open to everyone. There would not be a particular speaker responsible for speaking, but it would be open for all the audience. So I'm really keen on having all of you come and showcase some of the cool projects you're working on. And that would be the end of our Build with AI series. And like I said, thank you so much for working with us through this journey. Some of us have learned things that we've never learned before. Thanks to our speakers and also attendees for sharing their insights sometimes. And I would end it here because it's a Saturday. And we have other things to do. And I don't want to stand between you and your free time or your drinks or your friends and family. So I would say let's stop here. Feel free to tag us. Feel free to share your learning journey with us, and use the hashtag Tambua Learning Series, Build with AI, tag GDGKC, Flutter Kisumu, and Tambua Women in Tech. And thank you so much for presenting to our speakers and to all of you. Yes, Roberta.
Hi, Maureen. Sorry to interrupt. Just a quick one. I've put the GitHub link as well for them to be able to use that for testing purposes as well. So they have the Medium and they also have the GitHub repo. Thank you.
Okay, awesome. So you have a lot of homework to do. Hidaya already sent us her GitHub repository earlier on, and now we also have the final repo from Roberta. So feel free to check in and follow the steps that they have placed in their repository on how to use it. And don't stop from here. Continue learning and continue building. And feel free to continue building in public, because you never know what you attract in the end. So thank you so much. I'm going to stop here. I don't want us to stay for too long. And feel free to reach out to us via email in case of any inquiries, and social media. Enjoy the rest of your Saturday. Thank you. Bye.